Hey folks, I'm here with Mike Laidlaw with Dragon Age. Can you tell us what you're demoing here at E3?
Sure can. We've basically been showing about a half an hour of solid gameplay. We're taking people through kind of 3 major beats. We're showing a huge exploration area, giving them a sense of what it's like to explore, see characters they can interact with, creatures, talking about the biomes, the way they adapt, showcasing the horse for the first time. That's kind of fun. Riding into Redcliffe, and then, hey, let's go fight a dragon. We give that a whirl. Don't quite take her down, but you get to see like how they've got individual limbs and they can wound them and take them onto their side and stuff. And when that's done, we kind of talk about how that interacts with the story. And that's been a big thing. I know we've got some fans who are like, wait, did you guys just go all open world? And we went multi-region open world, so you go all over the map. You're in 2 different nations. But the big thing for me is showing that like there's still a Bioware story. You're right in the heart of it. And really, all the stuff you do while you're out exploring, like, hey, I found an ancient ruin and all these treasures, they can all feed back into your Inquisition. And then what it does is you can use them to kind of advance the story. Like, I'm going to send my agents in. They're going to infiltrate a castle. Let's go find out how we can, engineer things to our advantage. And then as the Inquisitor, you come in kind of after they're the vanguard and clear stuff. So then you dive in, some nice story beats, some really cool stuff. A lot of people asking questions like, hey, what, wait? By the time we're done, which is always a good demo for me.
Right, good, fantastic. Can you tell me what's the difference between Ferelden and Orlais? This is our first time actually getting into the country. What makes it distinctly different from each other?
Yeah, well, I mean, for Orlais has way fancier hats. Yeah. But I mean, that kind of actually is true, but really we don't want to diminish it. So Orlais is a massive empire, and they've kind of recently gone through an enlightened age, whereas Ferelden's always been a lot more about like rough, tough, kind of they're not barbarians, but they're ready to punch you a lot more readily. Orlais is a lot more civilized, a lot more culture. They're kind of inspired by that kind of Louis XIV kind of era of France. And most interestingly, they all wear masks. All the Orlesians, it's called the Masked Empire in a lot of cases, in part because they all play this thing called the game. It's very political. It's all about maneuvering and positioning and kind of understanding the weaknesses of your foes, and the masks help them hide some of their emotions, right? The real pros don't really need them, but they wear them anyway because it's cultural. So when we go to Orlais, you're going to see kind of very different architectural style, very different color. It's a lot richer. It's a lot fancier. They put a lot more on appearances, so it's very, very distinct from Ferelden.
What steps are you guys taking to make the Inquisitor different from Hawk and the Grey Warden?
Well, I mean, number one is obviously the character is voiced, which is very different from the Warden, but we've given you a choice of 2 different voices based on your gender. So you've got 2 women or two men. You've got an American accent and a UK accent, and you can choose between them at character generation. And of course, different from Hawk, well, you can be an elf or a dwarf or a Canary in addition to human. Right. So we've given you the full range of classes, this huge spread of races, and of course characters react to like, hey, you're giant and have horns. Yeah. Let's talk about that.
Now, with all the Bioware games, companions are very, very important, especially in the Dragon Age games. What are the companions like, and how important are they to your teamwork for taking down like a dragon or a giant golem?
Well, they're characterized. I think if you kind of wanted to cluster them together, in a lot of ways, Inquisition makes you the leader of other leaders. You meet Vivienne. She's a premier mage in the Circle of Magi. She's got huge connections and influence. The Iron Bull, the big Canary warrior, he's the commander of his own mercenary company. When he joins you, he brings his troops, right, and they're at your disposal. So it gives you a sense that these are big, important people with their own stories, their own stuff they're often in the middle of, but they've joined you because they recognize the value of the Inquisition's cause. When we get to gameplay, though, obviously you're bringing a party of 4, same as all the other DA games. They have their own abilities. They combine. You can basically build them in any way. If they're a warrior, they can go sword and shield or 2-handed, any of those kind of hooks. And then working together as a team, what we've doubled down on for Inquisition is bringing in tactical play. So Origins on PC, you can pause the game, go up high, and be like, oh, cool, I'm going to play it like it's chess or a board game. We didn't have that on consoles. We didn't have it at all in 2. We said, no, we got a new engine. We're retooling everything. That's going back in for everyone, everybody. And so at any time, you can go from real time, like, hey, I'm going to swing my sword, fire my spells or whatever, switch between characters, or pull out, go tactical, say you go there, you hold that position, sniper on the ridge, let's do this and tear these guys down, which lets you have unprecedented levels of control over teamwork for everyone.
That's fantastic, that's amazing. And of course, Ferelden and Thedas has a huge expanse of characters that we all know and love. Can you tell us some that are coming back? Because we know Morgan's coming back. We saw Liana in the trailer, and Cassandra as well. Is there anyone else that you can tell us?
There's a few others. So Varric obviously is coming back. He's a storyteller at heart. Everyone loves him. But also he's got really interesting kind of hook, being kind of almost antagonistic with Cassandra all the way through DA2. We also have Cullen, who's a little divisive. Some people love him, some people hate him, but really, he's the man's seen a lot of shit, and he actually he brings a lot of world wisdom. And Cullen comes in as basically the commander of your forces, so he takes on a different role than some of the others. And there's a few others. We've talked about Alistair being in the game, but we haven't really talked about how or why. Okay. There's a few others returning, but we'll kind of reveal those over time, or maybe we'll just keep them hidden and let people be surprised.
Right. And last question: who is your favorite character? Of a playable character? Well, what are the companions or a Grey Warden? Who do you like the most?
Coming out of Inquisition. Yeah, so honestly, I've got a real soft spot for Sarah. She's our elven rogue. She's sassy. She's a little trashy. She likes the dirty jokes, but she's very distinct from someone like Isabella. You might be like, oh, it's just another Isabella. It isn't. She's very different. She's much more for the people, about the common good. And when you have a whole party of people that are kind of like lords and ladies, she has her own kind of network of spies and stuff that she relies upon that are completely different from anyone else, meaning that her demeanor, her attitude is kind of like a breath of fresh air in the Inquisition. Everyone's being very serious, and then she comes along and is like, I bought you a hat. And it's really entertaining, right? So I think that's the thing. We always strive for characters that, you love or you hate. We never want anyone where you're like, yeah, because that character kind of failed, right? So we always want characters to be there, and of course we got a big cast, so hey, pick the ones you love, combine them, see how they chatter as you go exploring the world. It's going to be fun, it's going to be funny, and it's going to be memorable.
Right, thank you, Mike. Thank you so much. Thank you for having time. For more coverage on E3, be sure to check out shacknews.com.